Hey there. I'd like to give you a big old fat warning. Some material may be inappropriate if you're a large wiener and can't take jokes, and if you're easily offended by, well, let's just say bad words. But if you're not, well, hell, even if you are, continue listening, because it's the best damn podcast out there.
Well, hello there once again, and welcome to the fourth episode of Billy Bob the Podcast. I'm Chris Moll, a.k.a. Billy Bob. I'd like to give a little thanks to my friend Galen Johnson that created that little warning label there for you all. On my last episode, I mentioned I was going to have a Canadian guest. It was my plan to do so, but right before releasing it, the Canadian government caught wind of it and put it under a 14-day quarantine due to the COVID thing. So you're just going to have to wait another 2 weeks before you can hear that. Instead, today, you'll get to listen to an impromptu episode titled Road to Maggie Valley. I know it's not what I promised, but I think you'll enjoy it all just the same. You'll get to hear all about the epic journey I take along with two of my good friends, Ron Perkins and Geoff Rosenberger. We traveled to Maggie Valley, North Carolina. While there, we attended the Southeastern Minitruckin Nats, or Minitruckin Nationals as some call it. We went over 5,000 miles and traveled through 14 states. We made many stops and memories along the way. I'll get to that in a minute. As always, this episode is brought to you by Hammered Weekend Wear. Make sure to check them out at hammeredapparel.com. Also look them up on Facebook and Instagram. Give them a like and a follow. As well as Precision Auto Wiring. Make sure to check them out on Facebook and Instagram. Look them up for your wiring needs, especially if you're doing an LS swap. On my last episode, titled A Boy in His Truck, I asked people to comment or send me messages if they could relate to some of my stories. A few people did so. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. One of those people being Andrew Prune. He wrote to me and said that he bought his first car from his grandpa at 15. I think he said that was a Dodge Omni. It didn't have an engine. Also, Ruben, yes, OG Ruben, he messaged me and said it reminded him of working on cars with his dad when he was a kid. Also, Brent Teague wrote to me and said he just caught up on all the podcasts. He told me they were great stories. He said it reminds him of him and his papa's relationship. Told me to keep up the good work, man. There's a few others. I really appreciate everybody that gave me feedback. It helps a lot. Whether it's good or bad, I like to hear it all. I'm glad that some people could relate to my stories. Kind of makes it all worthwhile to me. This episode is kind of like a Quentin Tarantino movie. We start at the end and work our way backwards through the week while going forward on the day we're discussing. You'll figure it out as you're listening to it. So if you enjoy Quentin Tarantino movies, you'll probably enjoy this episode. 5 of us sat down in the living room of the house we were staying in there at Maggie Valley, and I thought it'd be cool to record some of our thoughts and stories of the trip that we were on. We start with Saturday night after the show and kind of work our way back. You'll get to hear all about that here in a little while. I'd like to give a thank you to Jason Welliver, also known as Hardwood, for taking care of all of our accommodations while staying there in Maggie Valley. Thank you. I appreciate it. I know all the other guys appreciate it as well. You're going to hear about most of our trip later on, but here's a quick summary of how the trip home went. Ron and I woke up early Sunday morning. We headed towards home. We were about 2 or 3 hours away from Nashville and got a phone call. That phone call just so happened to be Mike Cotton, co-host of Motor Trend's Faster with Finnegan. They had just wrapped up filming season 2 and he was on his way home back from Georgia. We asked him where he was and he was about 2 or 3 hours away from Nashville. And by luck, it just so happened that so were we. So we decided to meet him for lunch, and upon hanging up, I looked up restaurants in Nashville. The first place that popped up was called the Loveless Cafe. It had 4.7 stars out of over 7,000 reviews, so we thought, well, that must be a pretty good place. We continued on our journey, made it there to the Loveless Cafe. Upon arriving, we noticed that the place was packed. I mean, just full and crowded of people. It had a parking lot and an overflow parking lot, which were both full. The place had a separate gift shop and a store where you could buy some of their products. We ended up finding a parking spot next door at the gas station, hoped that we wouldn't get towed away. While Ron was finishing up a little bit of business, replying back to some emails and texts, I walked over to see if I could find a parking spot for Mr. Cotton because we assumed he was towing a trailer as well. As I was walking through the back lot, I turned around and saw him. He greeted me with a great big hug. The last time I'd seen him was about 5 or 6 years ago, so that was a nice surprise. We met up with Ron and made our way to the cafe. The hostess informed us that we had a 2-hour wait for a table, but all the outside picnic tables and fire pits, yeah, they had these little fire pits with chairs around them. You could kind of sit back and relax around a fire while enjoying your breakfast or lunch. Well, all of those tables and fire pits were first come, first serve, meaning that when somebody got up and left, the first person to get to that table, well, those were the next guests waited upon. It was kind of odd because there were some people just standing at the tables watching people eat. We didn't feel comfortable doing so we kind of just stood on the edge of the fire pit area. We stood there and chatted for about 30 or 40 minutes. I was enjoying it because I was getting to hear all about the second season of Faster with Finnegan, getting that little personal preview of everything to come. Finally, I noticed there was 2 tables that everybody's getting ready to leave at. I motioned to Ron, who made a beeline straight for one of the tables. It was kind of funny. A lady was walking towards it. Ron kind of gave her that mean mug stink eye look, and she acted like she wasn't heading to that table at all. She just kind of looked away up in the sky, walked over, took a picture of the big sign out front, and then casually walked back to the sidewalk. So we sat down at that table. The waitress was quick to come take our drink order and food order. We had some good breakfast food, enjoyed a nice brunch. I might not say it was the absolute best breakfast I've ever had, but it was pretty dang good and big portions. We had our brunch and carried on our conversation. A couple hours went by and we decided that, well, we should probably all get back on the road. The whole entire trip, we had taken pictures and checked into about every place we'd stopped and eaten at. But when we first met up with Mike Cotton there, he had mentioned to us that it was so nice just to sit and enjoy a meal with a couple of good friends, not having to talk about the show, even though he pretty much just talked about the show the whole time. I think Ron and I both had the same feeling that instead of taking a picture, posting it up, and checking ourselves in there at the old Loveless Cafe, drawing all that attention to ourselves, that we would just enjoy a nice, friendly conversation with a good friend of ours and just keep those memories to ourselves. After we left and we're back on the road, Ron and I were thinking about it, and he mentioned that Mike will probably see all the places we checked in and eat at and wonder why the heck we didn't take a picture and check in with him. Well, it's not because we don't love you, buddy. We do. We just wanted to enjoy that moment and give you a little time of peace and quiet. I can tell you, after listening to Cotton tell me about Season 2 of Faster with Finnegan, you're definitely going to want to watch it. I guarantee it. So make sure to tune into that when it comes out on Motor Trend TV. You're not going to want to miss it. A little further down the road, we found out that I-80 through Wyoming was shut down due to snowfall and all the ice on the road. So they closed that road off. It was kind of weird. We went through there just a week prior and there wasn't a sign of snow. Now all of a sudden there was so much snow they'd shut the road down. So we decided to drop down and travel through Kansas and take I-70 instead. Sunday evening we made our way to just past St. Louis. We stayed at the Fairfield Inn and Ron ordered some of St. Louis's famous Emo's Pizza. I'd never tried it, but I'd heard all about it. It was pretty good. I love the flavor of it, and the crust is a really thin cracker type crust. I posted a picture of it, and somebody mentioned that it was cut in funny shapes. If you don't know, in the Midwest, pizza is cut into squares, not the triangle slices like most people know. My wife and I, we really like it cut like that. We occasionally order from Papa John's, and you can check the Midwest cut on the menu, and she does so. But anyways, we stayed there at the Fairfield Inn and enjoyed our Emo's Pizza, and we had a couple mixed drinks. We slept pretty good, woke up the next morning. The hotel had some of their hotel food. We ate some rubber egg omelets and little thin sliced ham that looked more like Canadian bacon. I ate a yogurt as well. We had some little tiny cartons of juice. They were like a 2x2 square. I thought it was kind of funny. You had to drink about 6 of them to even get a glass full. I had some hotel coffee. It was all right. We continued on from St. Louis to Kansas City. We got into Kansas City, Kansas. And there we met a friend of ours, Shannon Caudell. I hope I said his last name right. I'm pretty good about butchering last names. I know I make fun of people pronouncing mine wrong, but I get people's last names wrong all the time, so I guess I really don't have room to talk. We met him there in Kansas City, and we had some Five Guys burgers, because, well, who doesn't like putting Five Guys in and around their mouths? After getting our fill of Five Guys, we journeyed through Kansas hoping to make a little past Denver, but that didn't happen. We made it to the little town of Lyman, Colorado, and stayed in a $79.99 a night hotel room. We got out there. I was in shorts and a t-shirt. Ron was in pajama bottoms and flip-flops, and it was -2 degrees outside. We got checked into our room, and Ron decided he was going to order pizza from the Pizza Hut right next door. When he called, they informed him that they had just shut down and were no longer taking orders. He checked on his phone, and there was a Wendy's in the gas station next door. So we went outside, walked next door to the gas station, and it was closed. Looking across the street, we noticed that the station over there was open. Ron mentioned walking over there, but I informed him I didn't think I could make it. I was so freezing cold, I didn't think I could make it much more. So we hopped in the truck, cranked the heater, and drove the truck across the street to the store. Ron got a couple Hot Pockets. I got a big old monster burrito, and we were pretty sure there was a microwave in our room. We couldn't quite remember. Just our luck, there was. So we ate our Hot Pockets and monster burrito, shared some pretzels, had a couple more drinks, and called it a night. We woke up Tuesday morning, had a 15-hour drive to make it to my place in Boise. We wanted to leave fairly early, but we didn't get out of there till around 7 o'clock. I had to have my morning coffee, so we went to the gas station across the street. I got some coffee and continued moving right on down the road. We made our way through Denver, got to the pass there on I-70, and we hit ice and snow, and there were some pretty big ruts in the road. Had Ron white-knuckling most of the way. Although it was beautiful scenery, if you've never taken I-70, I highly recommend it. It is gorgeous. It is well worth the drive. We stopped at a gas station there somewhere on top of the pass, filled up with diesel. I got some Dunkin' Donuts for us and actually some good coffee. I didn't have very good luck with coffee during this entire trip, which you'll hear more about later on. But we continued on from there, finally made it to the Utah border. I don't think Ron's ever been so happy to see sunshine and dry roads. We stopped at the Welcome to Utah sign, got out for some selfies, tagged that road sign there with some Hammered Weekend Wear, Mini Garage, and Billy Bob the Podcast stickers. From there on out, the road was pretty nice. Ron didn't have that puckered butthole, and his death grip on the steering wheel had loosened up quite a bit. We traveled through Salt Lake. We were thinking about stopping and seeing our buddy Izzy there that works for Condiggit, but we just didn't have time. We would have liked to have done so, but we were just ready to get home, and we were tired. We made it about 2 hours away from where I live here in Nampa, Idaho, and stopped to get diesel. That was just a little before midnight. The gas station still had a Carl Jr.'s open, so I decided to get one last hamburger in before getting home and back to eating healthy. We left that station there in Burley, Idaho, with a couple hours to go, like I'd mentioned. Made a little ways down the road, I looked over at Ron and could tell that he was just done for. He could barely keep his eyes open, so I offered to drive. He asked me if I was awake. Well, I was awake more than he was, I can tell you that. So I got in the driver's seat, and I continued our journey to my house. I live on I-84 off of exit 36. When we got to milepost 136, I was like, yes, 100 miles to go. Got to milepost 86, and I was like, yes, 50 more miles to go. I can tell you, I don't remember the last time I was so happy to see the Boise City lights. Even though we'd made it to Boise, we still had about 20 miles to go to my exit there in Nampa. Finally got to exit 36. Had this big old sigh of relief. I live about a mile straight down from that exit there off the highway. There's 2 stop signs that we have to go through. Made it to the first stop sign. I took off, and between the first and second stop sign, about another half mile down the road, I get this nudge on my shoulder, and Ron's like, hey! Well, I'd kind of dozed off between stop signs there. Thankfully, we were just about to my house. I told Ron I'd just unload everything in the morning. Ron made a comment about how jealous he was that I was finally home and he wasn't. We walked inside the house, and my wife Michelle had already blown up a big air mattress and made a bed for Ron. I just remember him saying, oh, look at that. And he instantly flopped down on it and fell asleep. I mean, within a couple seconds, he was out sawing logs. The next morning, I got up a little early, got a couple cats that like to have their breakfast on time and were banging on our bedroom door. So I got up, fed them, sat down with some coffee, surfed the old Facebook, Instagram, let Ron sleep till about 9 a.m. Finally, he woke up. I got all my stuff out of the truck. Well, I got to go back in my house, kick back in the recliner, drink a second cup of coffee, while Ron still had a 6-hour drive home. He did text me a picture of a Bonzo burger from C&S Burgers in Boardman, Oregon. I guess he can say he got in one more hamburger than I did. You win. It was an epic and magical adventure, to say the least. Definitely one more for the books. And now that you've heard the story of our trip home, here's a little bit about how the week prior went. Hope you enjoy it. I know we all did. Let me know what you think. If you like it, I'll invest in some better equipment to record future group conversations at upcoming shows. Out of all the shows I've been to in my life, this is right up there with one of my all-time favorites. There were so many quality vehicles there. I believe around 700 to 800 truck attendants. The after-show cruising was awesome. Basically, it's a one-road town. There's a main two-way road, has a turn lane right in the middle. Everybody just cruises up and down that road. People hang out in the motel and store parking lots up and down the road and just watch people cruise, visit, hang out. I was also amazed at the amount of OG mini truckers that came out of the woodwork. I got to meet a lot of them for the first time, many that I used to talk to back on the Street Source days or that I've had conversations with on social media. People such as Phil Fowler, Dustin Haven, Carrie Bewley. Got to meet them for the first time. It was awesome. There were many other OG, triple OGs from around the country as well. Like I said, it's a great show. If you ever get the opportunity to make it out to Maggie Valley for the Southeastern Minitruckin Nats, I highly recommend it. Now, on with the show. We are here on Saturday night at the Southeastern Minitruckin Nats in Maggie Valley, North Carolina. It rained, and as soon as it started raining, instantly the cruising stopped. It was just dead. We decided to walk back to our house, and we're just all chilling here, and we'll go over what happened on day 7 of the road to Maggie Valley, the guys from the Northwest. We're all sitting here. I've got Geoff Rosenberger.
Say it. Go ahead. Say it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
He now has the name of Geoff. Thanks to Jason Ballard, ODB.
Wipe it off her chin.
Wipe it off her chin.
I totally told him it's better than being jizzed on.
That is true. And I have Ron Perkins. He's got so many aliases, I don't even know what to call him.
Someday I'll have a cool nickname.
Like Brett the Hitman Hart.
The Hitman Hart. I love it.
And I have Matt Weathers. I don't know if he's got any nicknames or not. Santa Claus likes to dress up. And
Santa Claus.
And that unicorn head. And we have Chuck from Florida that's probably not going to say a word, but he'll sit there and watch.
He's recording it.
He's recording it, nodding his head. He's like,
yep.
He's
We're
recording
live.
what.
Are you watching Geoff? That's what I want.
Everybody's
watching Geoff right now.
Geoff. And of course, I am Chris Mull, aka Billy Bob. So now we've got everybody's names here and there. And we're just going to run through what day 7 of our magical little adventure was like. I woke up this morning and I was trying to be nice and not turn on the lights, but I wanted coffee. So I walked into the kitchen, opened the cupboard, and last night I made decaf coffee, and I thought I put that box of coffee, the little Keurig cups, on the top of the caffeinated coffee. So I grabbed the bottom box of coffee, made my coffee, and I was in here drinking it, and Geoff comes in here.
God damn it.
And he informs me that I'm drinking decaf. So that ruined my morning. I was a little bit pissed off by then. That's the last time I tried to be nice. So
I appreciate you not waking me up, though.
Yeah, I'm sure. But we decided that we're going to walk down the street, little 6-minute walk, and get coffee at a coffee shop. And so Geoff and Ron and Chuck and I, we head down the street in search for coffee. And Geoff mentions that this little village cafe has all-you-can-eat breakfast, and they bring out a big platter plate, and said that we should do that tomorrow. Well, since we're taking off early in the morning, Ron decided that it'd probably be best if we do that this morning. So we did an impromptu early breakfast, went into this village cafe, and they brought us a great big huge platter of breakfast full of eggs and grits and bacon and sausage and
Gravy.
Biscuits, gravy.
The apples, the spiced apples.
Oh, that's right, spiced apples.
Yeah.
And non-decaf coffee.
No, I had coffee.
You had decaf
So,
there?
No, it was caffeinated.
Yeah, you had some caffeine finally.
Yeah, finally.
Non-decaf.
Oh, non-decaf. Well,
so it was like a mom and pop's Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, it's called Country Vittles, something like that. Like
Country
Yeah.
Vittles.
Country Vittles.
Oh.
And Chuck Dog had some orange juice.
Yes. He was the only one that didn't drink coffee.
I know.
Well, we're from the Northwest, so.
Yeah, coffee capital.
He's from Florida and he drink fucking orange juice.
Orange juice capital of the world.
Orange juice cap. You said something on my podcast.
Oh shit.
Well, it's recorded now. Too late.
Fuck.
So we ate breakfast and then we headed on over to the show, opened up the Hammered Weekend Wear booth, the trailer there. And I think from the get-go, we started getting swamped with people coming up to
Yeah, we were slammed from 9 o'clock to, I think lunch was about 3 before.
Yeah,
Geoff gave me a break and I sat down for the first time.
yeah, we were hammered at the Hammered booth.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was a lot of people asking for those VIP passes that we sold out Friday in about 3 hours.
Right.
But yeah, so we worked the booth. I started to walk around a little bit, and I ran into Todd Faulkner from Tennessee, and that took about an hour of my time. And then I decided that I would go back to the Hammer booth and try to help out there a little more. And I think old Geoff was out recording his thing.
I did a bunch of recording. I met some cool people. It's cool to talk to the little guys that are building stuff at home, that are still putting quality trucks out, and meeting up with those guys. And so then there was also, when I was out walking around, my buddy Dave messaged me last week, and he was like, "Can you give me some tickets to get in there?" I'm like, "Man, they've been sold out since January." And I said, there's just no way. It's not happening. And then I ran into Matt Middleton, who was walking by, and I said, "Oh, this is my buddy Dave." And he goes, "Oh, well, do you want to get in the show?" And Dave's like, "Yeah. Go talk to Madu. Madu's got some tickets." So we ran over and grabbed Madu. So Dave got his truck into the show, and it was awesome. And I can't thank these guys enough for, everybody taking care of everybody, even out here this far from home. And we're getting our friends into shows, and that was cool. Meeting up with other people, looking at there's Mazda, some old school Mazda trucks from Bonsai that I checked out with a whole bunch of pinstripes on the frame. I'll have that in maybe an episode 2 or 3 from, about maybe a month or 2 from now. You'll get to see some of that stuff on our YouTube channel. But then I came back, and I didn't think I was gone that long, but I came back and it was 3 o'clock, and I'm like, "Ron, you guys gotta go eat," and I told you the same thing. Go get some food, get out of here, and I'll hold it down, and I was able to hold it down, and again, people coming by the booth tell me that they're appreciating what I'm doing. I know you heard it too.
I did.
It's very humbling to hear that come from people that you've never met before, and I really appreciate it, and it's awesome. So
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
Can you tell Jeff's a YouTuber, because we're recording a podcast and he's still recording mini garage. He's talking with his hands. I wish you could be here to see it.
Yeah, it is pretty funny.
There's no video camera.
His hands are waving
I was
everywhere.
watching Mini Garage over here.
I got my shirt on. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you're wearing on this one.
Well, hell, I'll pull them down.
No, it's all right. Keep your clothes
Pants
on.
on. God damn it.
It is kind of funny. The hands are flying all over the place. Yeah, well, it is pretty cool to have people come to the booth and meet people for the first time. I met a lot of people for the first time here. People that I've known for a long time, people that I was in the club subculture with way back in the day. Lee Farmer, and then Rick Rosenberger. Yeah, somebody I talk to all the time. He's a great guy. I'll be getting ready for work in the morning, and it'll be 5 o'clock there where I'm at, and I'll just make my lunch, sit down with a cup of coffee, and all of a sudden I'll get a message, how you doing this morning? And so I think it's cool because just out of the blue, I'll get a message from him. So I talked to him quite a bit. It was cool to see him face to face. In fact, actually shake hands with him and meet him.
I shook his hand too, and he commented on a lot of my stuff, and he's very positive, and it was great to meet him. And again, just super cool people out here, and lots of people that I have been friends with on Facebook for a long time, or at that time, and before that, MySpace. And you get to meet him, and I'm gonna put my hands down. You guys are looking at
Still doing it.
what I mean. It's it's
Are you flying an airplane, or what are you doing?
I really want to thank Ron for inviting me to come, because it's experience. It's experience of a lifetime, and we talked about it in the truck. Is you have to commit to it and do it. It's find a way. It's packing in hotel rooms and riding 6 deep in a truck and pitching in, paying for gas together and eating top ramen if you got to do it. But come out to these shows that are across the country, because it's a different world and people are so welcoming. Look, they're supporting our brother right here. Like they're gonna make his dream a reality, because there's shows all over the country that he's gonna be able to go to and support the scene and be able to give something back. So it's cool.
It is. It's very cool.
It's amazing. I mean, the amount of people that I've talked to over the years over the internet, and then going cross country and meeting them and stuff. And Josh Rowan is a guy that I've talked to a lot, and finally met him today. I've tried to meet up with him at other shows here, when I've been in the area, and finally did that today. I've talked to that guy probably 8 years on the internet. There's a lot of, it's kind of cool, really. You talk to people and you almost feel like you know them, and then you meet them in person,
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Another one that I met for the first time today, face to face, was Dustin Haven, and old school, way back from the 90s. Had the truck called Suicide Toy, blue with the zebra print, and the original owner, builder, and painter of that truck. It's cool to see some, I guess you'd call them OG. I hate to refer to us as OGs, but we are getting old. And
it's all in your mind.
What's that?
It's all in your mind.
It is. That's what I tell everybody too. It's funny because I don't think that I'm that old, but then, Mike Murray comes up to me and says, hey, some guy came over to the booth and he says, hey, is that guy at the Hammer booth your dad? And I'm like, how do I look old enough to be that guy's dad? I hope I don't look that old, or I don't think I look that old, but
that started early.
yeah. So you never know. I guess maybe I am getting up there, but yeah, it's definitely been great meeting all these people. Just some people that just meeting for the first time today, this weekend.
I took a picture with Dave DeCorver and Doppelganger.
That's right.
Yeah, that was cool. And
I thought I drank too much when I seen double.
Well, yeah.
It's like, I've already had that. How many fingers am I holding up? Well, I only see 2 fingers, but there's 2 of you as well.
Yeah, I've definitely seen pictures of him that had to do a double take to see if it was you before.
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
Yeah.
I need to get that dude a mini garage shirt and a hat, and we're gonna party.
And run around like twins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you see Dave DeCorver at the Awakening, it might just be me. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm sure he gets that quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm sure. Lots of people come up to him. Are you Geoff from Mini Garage? I doubt it.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to start to call him Geoff now.
Please, all of you right now, run into Dave DeCorver and say, are you Geoff? Jump dogs all over it.
Yep. Next time I see him at the show, Geoff.
Oh man, it's always funny how people get a nickname, and I think old Geoff Rosenberger, Mini Garage, now going to be known as Geoff to everybody. You heard it first right here on this podcast. So just think, you'll never forget this weekend.
Never.
Oh yeah, it was a
Making
good time.
memories.
So this show, I mean, there's so much great stuff about this show. Not only the quality of trucks and all the old school trucks that showed up, and all the people that you met and saw, and the being here in the valley, and all the leaves on the trees, they're all orange and brown from the autumn, and
Foliage season.
yes, I
That's
mean
what the Northeasterns call it, the foliage season.
But we didn't get to
Foliage
see
season.
all the goats. We saw some of the goats. There was
But
some.
we did. We saw goats that were up on the hillside, and it made a lot more sense why on the artwork of the T-shirt there's a goat driving the truck.
Absolutely.
I was wondering about that before we came here.
And there was, well, yeah, and I saw pictures of the stuff that Sean Rose was bead-rolled, and there was goats. I'm like, what's with all the goats? What's up?
Yeah, me too. I'm like, we're not going to Montana.
They have no reason to be scared.
Yeah.
Look,
Well,
and then-
maybe Matt is over on the East Coast. So.
Sometimes I gotta entertain
I heard.
myself.
Oh man, no, I mean there was.
But other than that, if you'd say, what do you like most about this show?
Oh God, what I love well, it had to be the Malloy's barbecue.
That was pretty good. That was some awesome barbecue.
No, seriously, it's all the different trucks. Like, I mean, I've been to Northwest shows for years and years and years, and it's good seeing everybody. But you see the same trucks for years, and it's still awesome. And there's one or two new ones every year, and that continues what we do. But coming out here and seeing 400 trucks you've never seen before, maybe you see pictures on the internet or pictures in magazines, and all the Trucksterosas, like.
Yeah, I was pretty blown away by that. It's like I was kind of in the impression there was like 3 or 4 of them, and what was there, 6?
There were 6,
Yeah.
and they were talking that Bill Miller that we just met tonight. He said next year there might even be more.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that too.
And
Bill Miller has that yellow
yeah,
Trucksterosa with a removable top.
with the removable top,
Yeah.
and it's really nice. And he says he's working on a
He's got an S10
S10.
with a Trucksterosa kit on.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you want to talk about something that's coming out? These guys are preserving these trucks, and they're bringing them back. And if you haven't seen one in person, you're missing out. So I don't know where they're. I mean, I know Madu's on Facebook. Look on Instagram for some of this Trucksterosa stuff. I know that we talked to Bill Miller, and there's a bunch of other old school truck guys that are bringing these things back, and they are cool, and they're with bright yellow. They're like the ones I saw were yellow.
Totally
and,
jelly beans out there.
yeah,
Yeah, that was cool. I was just like, boy, that's totally, 80s and the jelly beans. I mean,
you can't find the parts. So these trucks, when you find them, you have to buy them right now. You have to be ready to pull the trigger because they'll be gone.
Yeah, that's out of all the trucks that were here. What, 4? I don't know how many were in attendance. I know there was a shit ton of trucks. I mean, more than you see at a Northwest show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I think 2 that I know of, well, 3, because I've seen Todd's truck before in person when I was at his house. And I think Chick's Ride I'd seen before, and the Look That Kills. Is that what it is?
Josh Ellis's truck.
Josh Ellis's, yeah.
Holy hell.
that is a nice truck.
That is so badass. Like, and he's done a very good job at preserving that piece of history.
Yeah, he's updated it quite a bit. New interior, and
It's
I know.
made a lot of changes since the last time I saw it. I think
Yeah.
3 years ago when I was at Slamfest.
Yeah, and I saw it 20 years ago at Rezzo's when I took my Mazda there when it was Peach. The year I got shot for the cover of Minitruckin, it was there at that show, but it wasn't what it looks like. I don't remember it looking as nice as what it looks now. I mean, he's got it looking really good. And it was really cool to see the Craig Raleig's truck,
The Take Two.
the Take Two Mazda that was Ty Zito's.
Yeah, and again, wow, like, and then to be there in the Hammer booth with it,
Yeah.
and the shirt just coming out. So there's all the attention around the truck that's in the booth, and then we got all the shirts. So just
And I know a lot of people think that he just bought that truck and just cleaned it up and updated a little bit. I've seen pictures of it. He tore that truck all the way down and restored that truck back up to where it's at now. He didn't wasn't like he just went and bought this truck that was
Yeah,
sitting in a
bad.
garage someplace.
And I
Yeah.
think it's really cool if you haven't seen it to know, like, in the bed you think it's just painted bed cover, but it's Lexan that's painted over. You can see inside the speaker box, you can see the ports, you can see the amps, and it's all underneath some of the graphics, and it's really cool. And I was thinking that I was going to try to stay away from tweed in my Mazda, but it went so well with the vinyl and two-toned, and it makes me think more about it. Not that I'm 100% in it, because I was trying to stay away from the tweed, but it looks so clean, and that's just how that era was.
Right, yeah.
I think that tweed, I don't know, I've always liked it, but the only time I don't like it is when it's filthy dirty and it's all ripped to hell.
Well, and that's why in my S10 I had a darker gray, and this was a light gray, and it just popped in there.
Yeah.
With the red vinyl, and I'm like, man, because I didn't want to do it.
We started talking about that Craig's truck, and then you said you were kind of on the. I thought you were gonna do a blow like that.
Yeah.
Big system. And,
No, I'm doing a different big system.
okay. Try to talk Geoff and do a big ass walkthrough, but I
Yeah.
don't think I'm gonna.
Dude, hey, I've had a walkthrough before.
Yeah.
And my Mazda, it was cut through and welded up twice, and I can tell you, it's loud.
It's
Like
loud.
you get so much road noise back there.
And it gets cold. I mean, up there.
It does,
Oregon,
yeah.
it get cold.
And the subwoofer enclosure is built. Like, I'm committed to it.
So Geoff looks for this topper forever, and finally finds it, and now he's gonna get it all together and put this huge system in the back and end up cracking the shit out of that shell.
Yep, there you go.
Blowing the windows out, cracking the shell.
Poor
no.
Mazda.
No, I'm gonna sound dead the whole inside of it. Everything will be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, how about you, Matt? I know you got here late. You drove from your job in, Pittsburgh, I think?
Yep, I'm north of Pittsburgh working.
And then made the track down here.
Yep, came down. Sightseeing a lot of the trucks that I've seen down at Florida shows that I've been to. I was just overwhelmed by how many nice trucks. I mean, just, and it's like also the whole, the amount of vehicles that I've seen in magazines in the past. That's another thing. It's just like, you're just overwhelmed. In fact, even just kind of rolling into town, the amount of vehicles cruising the strip out here, that weren't even in the show, that were outside and stuff. Just the amount, it's like, it kind of reminded me to go into like a big hot rod show, like a good guy show there at Puyallup and stuff. There's all kinds of stuff out in the parking lot, even going down to stuff in Portland, and just the amount of stuff.
Yeah, this morning when we were done with breakfast, everybody was still lined up waiting to get in. Here, you weren't here yesterday, but there was a ton of trucks and people here already yesterday.
Yeah.
And somebody had said that the line to get in the one direction was over a mile long, and I know there was probably half a mile maybe when we were walking
The other way.
Yeah, the other way.
Yeah, it's a small venue, but the amount of quality vehicles that show up for it.
It's super cool. I mean, this was a great show.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, it far exceeded my expectations coming to a show.
I'm really glad I came down. I mean, it was kind of up in the air, and it was a last minute thing.
Yeah, mine was last minute too. I just, with the COVID being shut down, I really didn't plan on coming here, but I was jonesing to go do something or go to the show.
I've been hitting little car shows and cruise nights and stuff up in northern part of the United States, where I've been working up there and stuff, and then coming down to this, I've been ready for a car show of some kind.
Yeah, that was me. I got to thinking about it, and the Slam Fest was coming up, so I messaged Ron and asked him if he's flying Slam Fest, and he says, no, I'm not going to Slam Fest because the Mini Nats is the weekend after. And I said, I'd like to go to that too, but I guess I'll just wait till LST. And he says, why don't you go with me? I'll pick you up on the way. And I'm like, you're driving there? So, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's Ron. Why not?
Yeah, well, it's like, yeah, surprise, surprise.
Need somebody to monitor the gas gauge for me.
Yeah, speaking of that.
Look, you
Turn
think,
on twice.
No, wait a minute.
Once is pretty heavy.
Oh, sorry.
So
Sorry, I opened up that can of worms.
we had been gone from his house like a half an hour, and the thing came on.
Oh yeah, we weren't even off the mountain yet. But that means we were going downhill. So.
Probably should take that Dodge back and get it checked out, make sure that thing's alright.
Oh yeah.
That
Well,
Dodge
I guess not gas. It's diesel, but still it's fuel. Yeah, you run out on that, it's not going to be like running out of gas on a gas truck.
Right.
I will say the def light never came on. He's very aware of that.
Yeah.
We didn't have a problem with the DEF, but yeah, the fuel light came on a few times, at least twice. Typical road. It just wouldn't be a road trip.
Only twice.
Yeah, only twice.
That's a win.
It only came on. He didn't have
probably
didn't have a lot for fuel and stuff.
He's probably like, yes, I beat it. I thought thought it was funny when you said that somebody commented on the post of that and said that, hey, remember that time, I think it was Leckbull, said we ran out of gas
Oh, in Texas?
in Texas,
Yeah.
got a gas can, and then had to use it again in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
It's like
Got
you
his money's worth out
all
of
on the same, I mean, you run out of gas twice on the same trip.
Yeah, that was coming back. So I think I was getting cocky because we didn't run out on the way there.
Yeah.
And that was Tex-Mex. That was a hell of a show. But that's another episode.
Chris, I'd be worried because you haven't made it home yet. Like, you can still run out.
Yeah, we do have the trip home. That is correct.
Got a full gas can in the trailer.
No,
I
don't
do.
think we do.
For the generator.
Yeah, that's not going to help us.
I don't have a diesel can.
I want to fill it up.
That's a possibility. Fill that thing up.
You know,
Yeah.
that thing runs on just DEF.
Yeah.
Just DEF, no fuel.
Right.
It'll run.
I accidentally, when I was traveling around for work, it was about 4:35 in the morning. I was in Blue Earth, Minnesota, I believe is where Blue Earth is, where the Jolly Green Giant statue is. I think it's the halfway point of I-90. And anyways, I stayed there at this hotel, got up early, and had to fill up the truck with diesel. And well, in the Northwest, you're just used to driving up to the pumps. You see black handle, black handle, black handle, green handle. It's diesel, black handle, green, whatever. So it's early and I'm tired, and it's middle of winter. There's snow everywhere. It's cold and dark, and I pull up to this pump to get diesel, and I see black handle, yellow handle, black handle, black handle, black handle, yellow handle. So I pull up to the pump, get out, open it up, grab the yellow handle, flip it on, fill up the truck, and it was almost completely empty. So I fill this thing all the way up, take off, get about a block and a half away, and the truck starts going, and I'm thinking, what the hell? Like, is the tranny going out in this thing? It's just sputtering, doesn't want to move, dies out, and I start it back up. It goes a little bit, jerks on the road, dies out again. I'm thinking, what the heck's going on? I can't figure it out. It's not wanting to start. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I put diesel in this thing. I walk all the way back to this gas station, and I look at the pump, at the yellow handle, and I'm like, what in the fuck is E85?
Corn fed.
That's right, corn fuel.
Yeah.
And guess what we don't have in the Northwest?
No.
Corn fuel.
Special spots you find it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
very
some.
rare. They have it, but not at every
Yeah.
pump like they do through
Yeah.
the Midwest.
Yeah.
And so there I am. I have to lay out on the road and drain all the tank. I happened to have 3/8-inch airline in the trailer, and that was the only thing that fit in there, and I had to suck and siphon that thing out. And I had a big waste oil tank in the back of the truck, and I drained all that in there. And then there was an O'Reilly's right down the street, and by that time it was open. By the time I got done siphoning it all out and changed the filters, changed that, got the thing started up, and learned my lesson about paying attention to what the colored handle was at the gas pumps.
But you know, even like if you have a storage can of fuel, if you look for a storage can, diesel's yellow can.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and I know about E85 because my wife's car takes E85, and there's a couple places in Portland that sell it, but it's more friendly than gas petroleum product, but it's more expensive. It gets crappier mileage. I know some of the race guys use E85, so I guess but diesel's green.
Yeah. Well, I know that now.
All right.
Yeah, I'll never make that mistake.
But all the other people that drive through the Midwest, diesel's green.
Actually, I called one of the guys that worked with us. He was someplace else, and he said in North Dakota this actually happens quite often.
Really?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
said, believe it or not, guys will go up there to North Dakota to work that don't know better.
Yep.
And they'll fill up with E85.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it. So, but in a lot of newer cars, they have yellow caps on them so that that it'll take either or.
Oh, okay.
So they.
Well, that makes sense.
So the
But at the time, like I said, I didn't know. Not being dark and early in the
Right.
morning and just didn't really want to be awake at that time anyway. I saw a different colored handle and thought,
That's the one.
That's the one. And there I went, 40-some gallons of E85 in a diesel
Kind of
tank.
like decaf coffee in the morning.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Here was dark and it was early morning. And
I was trying to be a nice guy.
I put decaf in the caffeine hole.
Isn't the decaf coffee green also? Like the label's green on decaf.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
It's dark.
Yeah.
I couldn't see.
Maybe you're colorblind.
No. I see you got the red.
The painter that's colorblind.
Hammer and flannel.
That I'm not. When it's dark, I have a problem seeing.
You can't tell a painter that he's colorblind. They'll never believe you.
You know what? One of the best painters that I knew over there, he was colorblind. And that guy, you'd be blending paint and it wouldn't quite match, and he'd walk up and he'd go, "Oh, that needs some green in it. This color's red. Like, there's no green in this color." And he goes, "Just trust me, put a little bit of it." He'd walk over and he'd grab a thing and he'd open up the top of it and look at it, and he'd dump a little in there and mix it. Sure enough, like, it was just the weirdest thing. That guy would see colors that you'd never seen. He was great at blending colors. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But yeah, so how about you, Ron? What's your favorite part of the show? You've been here more than once.
Yeah, I was telling people today, they were asking me, how the show was going and whatnot. I spent a good majority of it in the booth, but I did get out a couple times. The thing that really caught my eye this year, as opposed to last year, is that this year on Friday, the show overall was busier on Friday than it was Saturday last year.
Oh,
So I knew that Saturday was going to be crazy.
Yeah, and it was crazy.
And it
today.
was crazy. It was
I think
it was
that has
awesome,
something to
crazy.
do a lot with so many shows being postponed or
Yeah.
canceled and stuff, and everybody just wanting to get out.
Yeah, it's part that, and Jason Bell and his whole crew. My hat is off to them because they bust their ass, and you can tell how much they care about the show and the people and the vendors and the participants and everybody. So yeah, I think that's the thing that sticks out the most is that the show has consistently grown leaps and bounds. I last year heard stories about the old days when it was in Pigeon Forge, and then when they moved here, and it was a couple hundred vehicle car show, and to where it is now. So that's super cool that they put in a lot of hard work, and it's paying off for them. So.
And I was and as Ron started talking, the truck cirrhosis were cool, and the absolute coolest thing that I saw, and it slipped my mind when I was thinking about it, but it hands down was the VIP party at the Hammer booth with OLP and Asphalt Army. They had right before the VIP party, they did the DJ Mays came out. There was first there was one, then there was two passes for the VIP party, and they auctioned those off, and then they got given back, and then more people brought some passes up, and they got auctioned off, and then Street Trucks Magazine threw in a 1-year subscription to Street Trucks. Was it the Spark Show that gave a free entry, I think?
Yes.
So the Spark Show threw in a free entry to their Spark Show. Asphalt Army threw in a banner. OLP threw in a skate deck. And I think, and it was all going towards Sean Rose is working with, was it Beth Ward's family, and helping them out. And so it's going to a great cause. And they'd already gathered up, I think, what they say, like $7,000 at the front, at the main stage from the whole show. But just that VIP section put together another couple grand, right on the spot. And it was amazing to see all these people working together and coming out and supporting this great cause. And Sean was kind of blown away, and he'd been working all day in the OLP booth, bead rolling stuff, and here's something that's close to him, and all these people coming together for it. So hands down, that was probably the coolest thing I saw all weekend.
That was really cool. It was hard for me not to start to tear up when kid that got given the truck, the S10 pickup, and I think they said his Instagram is in the grass photography or something.
In Doug Grass photography, I think, and I gave him a mini garage stickers.
I saw that. Yeah, but that was pretty cool when his dad came out. I believe that was probably his dad.
Yeah, Brian's his name. Brian
That's all it is in the grass.
Hague, I think is his last name. Hagge.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to see, because I stood right there when he did it, and I was probably 5 feet away when handed that kid the keys out of the window, and that kid, I mean, he was beside himself. He didn't even know what to say.
And if you didn't catch that, I think that's on the Street Trucks YouTube page, so you could see that. Follow Street Trucks Magazine YouTube page, and you can see that when they give that kid his truck. Grass Photography.
Yeah, he's on there. He's up and coming photographer, just a young kid. Looks like he either just got his license or going to get his license.
He just had a birthday, yeah.
He had been working all summer to buy his first truck.
Yeah, that's what I thought was cool. And then they gave him that truck so he can take all that money and put towards bags and wheels and whatever he wants for that truck. Yeah, that was pretty hard not to just tear right up when you see something like that, because I mean that whole VIP party, the barbecue food, the music, just everybody hanging out and having a good time and seeing that stuff going on. It was really a great time.
Well, and the Freak Master made an appearance too.
He did. Yeah. Yep, the Freak Master Shannon, he showed up. Well, he lives in South Carolina, so it's not like he made a long track journey from
But I hadn't seen him the rest of the weekend, and here it was, kind of winding down. And
I think he was hiding from you.
I saw him over there in the booth over there with the freaks where they were pinstriping and stuff.
Yeah,
I'd seen him hiding out.
Okay.
There.
He was hanging out.
I was trying to get him on my YouTube, but it didn't. No, it was cool. And there was lots of people there.
And Shannon brought his truck out too.
Shannon did bring his truck. Yeah,
so he's been working on the 720. Looks good. He's making some headway on it.
Yeah,
it's got a blank side show on it.
Yep. Speaking of blank side shows, yeah, it's that was pretty cool. Last night, Friday night. Well, Friday we got here, and even that was a busy day. Even yesterday, we were pretty busy at the booth all day, and we sold out the VIP passes in 3 hours. Quick. We did that, and then saw some people, went around, checked some stuff out, and then Geoff and I dressed up for the party, the costume party.
That was rigged.
It was.
I don't know what it is with the. So
Wait a minute. We need to give Angie Rosenberger a shout out.
Well, hell yeah. So
yeah, I heard that was what made the whole thing happen.
Yeah. So my wife, we talked before we left, and we heard about the Halloween party, and I was like, oh, I've got this hot dog outfit. I gotta take this hot dog outfit.
Well, somebody didn't make a list.
Somebody didn't make a list, right? I did, and Ron had a list, and Chris had a list. Guess who didn't have a list?
Guess who didn't bring a costume, a sleeping bag, an air mattress, a pillow?
Right. Yeah, well, okay. But I got $187 worth of jerky.
Yes, you did. I mean, Well, I just bought almost $200 worth of jerky. I'm set for a road trip.
But, so, we get to, Utah, and I'm like, oh, I didn't bring my hot dog. I didn't bring my hot dog costume. And so I called my wife, and she's getting ready to head out of town at the same time. It's Monday. I'm like, hey, can you find my Halloween costume and put it in a priority mailbox and ship it to Graphic Disorder? Maybe we can get it Thursday. And she reluctantly does it and pays $9.60 to ship this Halloween costume across the country. And so, yes, thank you.
And it arrived on Thursday.
And it arrived on Thursday. And it actually, when she dropped it off, she sent me the receipt that said it was going to be dropped off Friday. I'm like, Friday? That doesn't work. But it showed up Thursday when we were there loading the trailer.
Yes.
So thank you, wife, for all you do.
There you go. It shows that she really loves you.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, she don't want to hear me whine.
That's probably it. She
Yeah.
don't want to hear about it when you get home.
So anyway, they have this. Was it
The costume contest.
Yeah, but who was the Relaxed Atmosphere had a pizza feed where they were feeding everybody they wanted on Friday night, and there was
that dropping where the
yeah, it was the Drop and Wear booth put on the free pizza, and I think Extreme Lows did the
costume contest. But I want to say, me being from the Northwest, if there was a costume party at a show, I'd say 85% of people would be dressed up.
Yes.
And there was 10, maybe 50, I'd say closer to 10% of people dressed up out here.
Yeah, if that.
And so I felt like I was I felt like I was the odd man out, kind of in my, walking around with my hot dog.
I would have just thought you were another petitioner.
Right?
Except I think all the petitioners today were in unicorn outfits.
No, that I don't think that was that.
No, I think that was just some guy walking around.
Yeah, because that was the guy that was in the pimp outfit. He was
like that all day
You
yesterday.
see the Macho Man?
Yes.
That was cool.
I can't remember what his name
I saw
is.
him off a long ways away, and I was like,
so they had best couple, and there was 3 Amish.
And you're saying you and Chris should have won.
I'm saying anybody. There were people want to come up and lick my wiener and touch my wiener.
what you're saying is the alcohol helped.
There was some gal. She came up. She goes, "I want to lick your wiener." And I was like, "Feel free. I'm here all night."
This is exactly why I wanted to give the shout out to Angie before. Now, make sure when you're letting Angie listen to this, after you thank her, you shut it off.
Yeah.
Or the chick that wanted to lick your wiener.
No.
Yeah.
No. There's
It's like, yeah, it's just all boring after this.
there's nothing I did this whole weekend that I would be ashamed of.
No, there was nothing.
Not a damn thing.
It's amazing what happens when you get old.
That's right.
But it was cool, and it would have been cooler if there was more people dressed up. But we got free pizza. I think Hardwood said that they went through 40 pizzas in 17 minutes.
Yeah, I think altogether there was 100 pizzas.
Yeah, 100 pizzas, yes, but the first 40 just went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All Papa John's pizza
Yeah.
from Hardwood's buddy.
Yes, yeah.
And that guy's the franchise owner, like several franchises. It sounds like.
Yeah, I didn't get his name. But
Yeah, he was cool, and it sounds like it's not the first time they've hooked up and done something like that. So
yeah, they've done it years past.
that's a cool deal. So for everybody coming to the show Friday night, you get free pizza, and between relaxing and Papa John's, you guys taking care of that. That's a slick setup. I mean.
Yeah, and speaking of Hardwood, Jason Welliver, that's who actually arranged this house, I believe, that we're staying in here. So I guess we should mention him, or at least thank him, or do something.
Not gonna
No, especially after we got pulled over.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday night getting pulled over, Ron passing his first sobriety test.
Winner.
Winner. Yes.
Now, I mean, at least.
It wasn't Ron's fault.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's all the golf cart.
Yeah, it was.
When you roll around on a golf cart, 4-wheel drive golf cart with a trailer down Main Street,
Yes.
you're asking to get pulled over.
That it wasn't really Ron's fault. He was just like guilty by association.
And I don't feel bad, Ron. I blew through a DWI checkpoint on the way through here, coming down that I didn't realize that's what it was until I was pulled over and explained to it.
Yeah.
Well, they saw the dent in the side of the sand and were like, that guy's tatered.
Yeah. He's been whiskey denting it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason's girlfriend Jess, she was driving the golf cart and got pulled over. She got a good talking to.
With no wallet, no nothing.
Yeah, no ID on her. Or
Yeah.
anything. They just pretty much just warned her, say no more on
That
the
was-
street. Or
Was that Thursday night?
that was Thursday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday night. So we're kind of like going in reverse. We should have probably started with day one and worked our way up to the day, but we're
We
doing
go
it
backwards.
backwards.
We're at Thursday.
Yeah, we're at Thursday. So Thursday, what did we do Thursday? Thursday morning, we went to. Well, we spent the day, pretty much most of the early day at Graphic Disorder.
Yeah. We stayed in Johnson City, Tennessee at Holiday Inn.
Yep, Holiday Inn.
Yeah, and
Motel,
I woke
motel.
up and let you guys sleep in for a couple hours. I don't know how long you slept in, but
Yeah,
I got
probably
to
8-ish.
I got to branch shop at Graphic Disorder there at 6 a.m. So then we had a ton of work to do, but yeah, it all went really smooth. And then you guys showed up an hour or two later.
Yeah,
And
I think we were there till 3 o'clock.
yeah.
Yeah.
The goal was to get out there at 3. We got out at 3:09, but we loaded all the shift shirts into the trailer. Brant had made a whole bunch of stickers that are for the display board. So between him and Eric and Andrew, they kind of dedicated that time to us. I really appreciate that because I know they have a lot of stuff on their plate, and they set aside so they could take care of us. And well, basically we're just fine tuning the trailer.
Well, and Chris was going around and he was putting all those stickers on those boards and just all day long. There's 40.
Yeah, 40 of those display boards, and then I thought I was almost done. I had looked over and I had like 4 left or something, and then here comes another pile of them.
And they also took me around Graphic Disorder, and I got to film some of them doing their t-shirt, and then I got to go upstairs and kind of see what Eric's, kind of how he does his stuff. And they have a YouTube channel where they show what they do.
Right.
And they've got now Brant's cameras. He's got way better cameras than what I got. He's got drones that fly over, so you can see everything. So if you get a chance to get on YouTube, go check out Graphic Disorder on YouTube, and you can see how their process of how they make these up to 18 color shirts.
Yeah, it was cool seeing it in person. I mean, seeing that machine work and go around the shirt, every color swipe back and forth over the screen, and seeing Eric the way he draws some of those artwork, that was pretty cool to actually watch it in person.
Yeah, their YouTube stuff's really cool. Like Graphic Disorder doesn't half-ass anything. Even their YouTube channel is
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can tell by everything there that there's
Yeah.
nothing half-assed
No,
about anything done there.
And that was one of the things. So talking with Brant, he was trying to tell me about different cameras, and I'm like, yeah, I can't afford that, but I think it's really slick, But it gives you something to strive for, and the quality of the video that they were taking, and he was showing me. I was like, wow, and then he tells me that I only spent like 10 minutes editing this, and he goes, but he doesn't have the subscribers. He doesn't have the base that he's looking for. He wants to grow that. So any of you that haven't seen how that process works, get on YouTube and look up Graphic Disorder and smash that subscribe.
Yeah,
That's right.
I got 617 subscribers.
Yeah, so
For being around as long as he has been and stuff, that's I guess a lot of people probably just don't know about it.
and
Yeah, and I think that's it.
if you don't know about it and you need artwork for your show and need show shirts, he can do that. They can do your cover artwork, stickers.
Does a lot of business stuff too, doesn't he?
They do. So it's not just your car club stuff, but your business needs. He can take care of you. Check him out and tell him Billy Bob sent you.
Well, that wasn't me that just.
It's you.
That's all Jizz off.
Yeah.
You tell him Jizz off. So,
He's
yeah.
off as a salesman.
Who the hell's Jizz off?
Yeah, so if we're going backwards, that was Thursday. So what did we do Wednesday? Wednesday, I think we left.
We woke up at the Hollywood in
at the
St.
Hollywood.
Louis.
That's what St. Louis, and then as we were driving down through
No.
St. Louis,
Was that?
yes, come on,
That's when we met up with Craig. But
We're
that's-
going
that's-
backwards,
That's
not
the next
forwards.
day. We can't talk
Oh,
about
I
that.
thought it was Hollywood at night.
No, we woke up Wednesday morning at Hollywood.
yes,
We're going backwards.
we're going backwards.
So we woke up at Hollywood, and then we are taking off through St. Louis.
Yes, we took off through St. Louis. You and I went down and got the coffee, and then
Oh.
yeah, remember we went down.
I thought Wednesday was the bead rolling day.
No, it was.
No, that was Tuesday.
No, that was Tuesday, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm old.
yes, because Wednesday we
Days
thought
just
we were
started
gonna.
running together.
It did kind of run together, but anyways, let's not drag this out arguing about what day was what we did what day.
So we almost made it out of
Let's
Missouri.
box.
Yes, we almost made it out of Missouri. You and I got up from the Hollywood, and we went down and got coffee
Yeah.
at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And the lady thought it was weird because I ordered 2 flavors in my latte, and she thought I wanted 2 drinks. And I said, no, I want caramel or caramel, depends where you're from, and I want the white chocolate, both in the same drink. That was a little
2
confusing.
flavors, 1 cup.
Yeah, 2 flavors, 1 cup.
It's like
That's a
2 dudes,
bizarre
1
thought.
cup.
Yeah, no, it's
No.
a lot different
A
than
lot
that.
different.
But anyways, we get that, and then we headed through St. Louis, and Geoff and I both mentioned that we had never been down by the Ark.
Yeah.
And so Ron decided that he
It's
says,
like, we'll take this exit right now.
yeah, we'll take the exit. We were right there. So we go down there, and we park, and we walk down.
Where did we park?
We parked. We had to take up 3 parking spots right in the middle of the parking.
St. Louis parking enforcement.
Yeah,
Parking.
St. Louis parking enforcement building. And so
We
just
paid
to
all 3 of them.
that's right. Took up 3 spots, and we put money in all 3 meters.
It was a 30-minute meter.
In a 30-minute meter. And then we were just supposed to go walk right down there, take some selfies real close to the arch, and come back. But me, drinking
I
all
want
that
to hear your ride up the thing. I want to hear about that because didn't you say that you're a little nervous with the
Yes, I was going to get to that. Thank you.
Thanks for jumping ahead, man.
I'm sorry. I mean, I wasn't there.
Well,
but
we're going backwards in days, but we're going forward in time during that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay.
We'll get to
now
that
that I
part.
screwed it up.
We started at the top and rode to the bottom.
Yeah. So me drinking all that coffee. Once my bladder gets working, I gotta sometimes frequently pee. So
It
me.
happens to the best of us.
Oh yeah, and the older I'm the old guy. So, anyways, I gotta pee. So there's a building there, and down below the archway where you buy all the tickets and everything. And I look and I go, oh, there's got to be a restroom in there. And Ron goes, oh yeah, there's a restroom in there. So I walk in there, the three of us, and I go in and I go pee. And I think Geoff went in to go pee as well. And when we came out, Ron hands us tickets. And I think Geoff and I would probably about react to the same, because I think Geoff doesn't care for heights like I don't care for heights.
I don't like them.
And I just took some deep breaths. I went, like, relaxed myself there for a minute and went, although I don't like heights, I'm never one to pass up an opportunity. So I was like, I can do this. And so we waited around and then got a picture taken and then went through security. I thought I was going through the airport. We had to take off coats and everything out of our pockets and go through.
Oh, they want to rub their wand up my sack.
That's right. Ron and I made it through, but old Geoff, he was hiding something.
I think they wanted to do a body cavity search on me, and I. So he's like, "Oh, turn around." So I grab up the wand. He's like, "Not like that."
Yeah, kind of lighten the mood there.
I thought you'd been arrested.
He thought they wanted to lick his wiener or something. Yeah, but
I got pictures of that, and they yelled at me about it.
yeah, they yell at Rod because you're not supposed to take a picture in there.
Well,
Not in the checkpoint. Yeah.
Yeah, not in the checkpoint. So we get up there and then we go through our little thing and we get in that little tiny pod thing or whatever it is, car that you ride to the top. I bumped my head twice getting in and out of it. Yeah, it's a little 4-foot doorway.
It's like a body drop truck.
Yeah, pretty much.
3 dudes in the standard cab body.
Yeah, we're all hunched over in there going, and it's a 4-minute ride. And it was funny because we were talking, and I was trying to. First, I was facing out the door, and you could see it going up, and I switched seats so my back was towards the window thing. Even though you couldn't see outside, it was just seeing it going up, and you could see the stairways and all that.
We're
being as old as that is, you probably feel it too, huh?
Yeah, you can't. Well, it hangs. It hangs so that
So
it
you
goes up
stay.
at an angle. It kind of sways so that the weight's always at the bottom.
And then it turns, and then it turns, and then it turns as
Yeah.
it's going up the arch.
Yes.
It's like hydraulic or something. So.
Huh.
We get to the top, 4 minutes just went by quick. And we get to the top and we stop. And I'm like, okay, great. Like, I'm thinking, what happened now? Are we broke down in the middle of this thing? I didn't know we were at the top. And then the door opens and the door opens and I go, what do we got to like transfer cars or something? Where I was like, oh yeah, no, we got to get into a different elevator. You got to walk across this little narrow thing. I'm like, huh? And he's like, oh no, we're at the top already. I'm like, where are you at the top? So we get out, and it wasn't as bad as what I thought it'd be. It was actually pretty cool. It was kind of foggy, so you couldn't see a long ways away, but you could see down. And we looked through the windows, took some pictures, and stayed up there for a little bit. And I don't know why I get myself worked up for that stuff, because I get up there and I do that kind of stuff and then realize that, oh, okay, I'm alive, I didn't die.
You know that, not to change the subject too much, but from where the arch is, if you're looking down across the river there, that bridge that's to the left, I think, if I remember right, that was the first steel bridge built across the river in the world. First steel bridge.
Wow.
That's
That's the bridge we went across.
Carnegie.
Yeah, we
Carnegie
went across
built
that bridge when we went to Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we
A little
got,
history lesson there.
of course, we got done with the ride, and we were heading out the archway, and we come to the corner out there, and Ron says, oh, if Matt Weathers was here, he'd tell you all about how shitty these wells were.
They were awful.
And sure enough, we post a picture, and guess who comments?
Yeah, couldn't help myself.
But it's been standing since '65.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously the internal structure is a lot better than what the outside, the skin on the outside is.
Have you seen that? How the arch is shaped? This
Yeah.
is what really threw me off. Like, as much time as I spent in St. Louis, I didn't know that it's 630 feet high and 630 feet wide.
Yeah,
But it's like an optical thing where it looks super tall but not very wide.
yeah,
And that was one of the things that kind of tripped me out. I mean, you know, I've been to the Arch.
There's
a ton of times,
there's all
but-
kinds of history, and when you go, there was a museum we went through,
Yeah.
and it kind of talked about some of the history that went on with it. There was when they first started building it, they didn't have it was all actually. I mean, it's kind of shitty time to be talking about this, but it was all like white workers, and then they got in. They brought in and unionized and got some black workers, so it got everybody in the community involved in building this national monument, and that's where I was going with it. But there's history in that building. So if you get a chance and you're in St. Louis, definitely go out, go through the museum. Don't be afraid of heights because it was not that bad. Right at the top. I mean,
Yeah, see, when I was there, it was when first part of COVID and everything was shut down, and I mean they weren't even really letting anybody even out on the garage, you know, and it was kind of really weird when we were there. And so we got probably about 20 minutes of trying to avoid the park people, you know, and then we were out of there. So we didn't get to spend a whole lot of time there. I'm definitely going to stop on my way back.
well, and AC/DC says it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
Yeah. But that was pretty cool. And then, you know, like we didn't plan to stop there, and that took up some time. And then we continued on and finally made it to.
Yeah, well, one of the times the gas light came on was that day.
I know.
So the gas light the fuel light, diesel light came on, and I was like, oh man, we need diesel. Luckily, we were right on an exit, so we whipped in there and filled her up and got back on the highway.
Well, we did stop at Steak and Shake.
And it was
That was the day before.
No,
No, that was that day.
it was that day because after we stopped at Steak and Shake later that night, we had crystals.
We had crystals. Yeah.
and nobody had any issues with their bowels like everybody was.
I know nobody, not one person had to go over and take a deuce afterwards.
No.
Well, then you all
Well,
yeah, but
an awful house.
what did we leave at Crystals because they were closed?
Well, we did go where the dumpsters were, and we all peed there because there was no restrooms.
Yeah.
Look, if you ain't gonna open the restroom, I'm gonna piss outside the restaurant.
Yeah, we did walk inside a fenced area.
Yes, it was.
If we'd been in Portland where you live, we'd have probably woken up a few bumps inside that place.
Yeah. Find out that the restroom is a public restroom. There's somebody else there going. You know.
Look, my city has to be number one at something, and it looks like right now it's homeless people.
Yeah, you're pissing on my house. Yeah, so
Actually, I guess it was down in Seattle. It had to be, going to McDonald's. Well, didn't realize that
Yeah,
they're all closed down. And I'm like, all right, I'm out of the vehicle. I ain't got no choice but to go. And so I'm like, well, I'll just step right around the dumpster here. And they're sitting there, started peeing, and all of a sudden this guy's like, hey, I'm going to the bathroom. There's a guy dropping anchor here to the side. I'm just like, shit, I didn't know this was a public restroom, you know?
well, apparently now you do.
Yeah, so I guess something to be aware of when you're in the big city.
yeah, especially over there in those cities. Yeah. So and then it was late by the time we got to Johnson City. I think midnight 1.
Yeah, the deal was we got back on the highway after the fuel stop, and then we got caught in that.
Oh, that's right.
They were merging down from like
Traffic,
4
yeah.
lanes to 1 for some construction. And that was really the only traffic that we ran into. But man, we must have sat there an hour.
It was a while. Yeah.
Yeah. So that put us into Johnson, Tennessee at probably midnight, 12:30.
Yeah, I know it was
So
around midnight, I believe. Yeah. So there's that day, and then so the day before that was Tuesday. Yeah, going backwards. So we're going backwards in days, but forward during the day.
So Tuesday we woke up in Little America in Wyoming. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Is that correct?
Yeah, the 2-bedroom with all the 3 beds.
Yeah.
Well, where did we stay Sunday night then? That was Wyoming. So somewhere we're missing a day.
Well, we stayed in outside Lincoln, Nebraska. That's where it was.
That's right, Lincoln, Nebraska.
Damn Nebraska.
Lincoln, Nebraska. We
There's a
almost.
long state to
It's
get.
a long,
Missed the day, yeah.
boring state. Not that I'm saying if you live in Nebraska, good for you, man. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do
Well,
it.
in all fairness, the only part that you guys, this trip, and myself, has seen of Nebraska has just been
The highway.
all 410 miles of I-80, and that's it.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, we got that cool sack breakfast that didn't have much in it but an apple.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Yeah,
the damn sack breakfast full of carbohydrates that I couldn't eat.
that's right. Yep. And that's the day we stopped at quite a few signs and tagged them with our stickers.
Yeah, we had some comments on that.
Yep, I think the Missouri sign, we did that. And then I think after that, we tagged a few signs, and then Jesse Kidd started doing that. I think he has laid out clothing. Laid out clothing. And then he started tagging places and tagging us in the pictures and letting us know, and kind of got that friendly little thing going on about who could tag the best. I think we did outdo him though.
It was pretty cool when we got to Nebraska and you and Geoff had went out to put a Mini Garage and a Billy Bob podcast sticker up, and while I was looking for a hammered sticker, there was already one on the Nebraska sign from the time before.
Yeah,
when I came through.
Yeah, and I think when I came across last year, because I remember you pointing that out someplace at one time about you putting a hammered sticker on, and for some reason I started, as I'm coming into States, I started looking, because I knew that he came across through there several times when he lived there in Missouri and stuff, and I was really paying attention. I saw the sign and I think there was a hammered sign.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool because not only was it a hammered sticker, it was like their old
original
vinyl cut.
Yeah,
like cutout stickers. That was pretty cool to see still on there, and it was in still pretty good shape.
So we got through Missouri, and we went to Mid-America Truck Tops.
That's right.
Where I originally bought my trailer and used to work when I lived in Missouri, and we dropped the trailer off there and visited for a little while, and then we took the truck with no trailer and went to TJ's shop.
Yeah, was TJ Cambered Creations.
Yep.
That was kind of cool, where Geoff did some filming there for Mini Garage. Checked him out. He gave a few tips on bead rolling there.
Yeah, bead rolling, and then we checked out a couple vehicles that TJ was working on. One of TJ's vehicles, and some other vehicles that you can see on Mini Garage. So you'll have to tune in for that to see our shop tour there.
Yeah, so TJ was awesome, and he showed me the bead roller, and then I was like, well, I gotta try that, man. And TJ was really cool. He grabbed a piece of scrap and made a template for me to follow, and I did. Got around and turned around the corners, and then he sped up on some of the straight stretches, and I bead rolled my first panel. I was like, this is fucking cool, man. Everybody needs one of these things. And then hey Ron, you gotta try this out. And then we filmed me doing it, and we didn't film Ron doing it, but Ron didn't look as good as mine.
Not at all.
Well, and then when it was all done,
I stopped in the corner.
I know you did. You totally stopped in the corner.
In
But if you look at one of your straight lines,
the straight line
is right next to my
worst
little wonky, my worst line.
Yes.
So, but we got to try it. I want to run home and buy a bead roller and start learning how to make. And I was actually talking to Sean Rose about that, and he's like, "Hey man, anything you need help with, you let me know. I'll give you all the pointers I can." So yeah, thanks TJ for letting me have a shot at your machine. He's working on some cool trucks, and we will have those on a future episode of Mini Garage.
Yeah, it was cool stopping by there. It was cool to check out what he's got going on there and checking out his Mazda. It was actually kind of funny. I think he was surprised at how much I knew was modified on that Mazda, not knowing I was a Mazda guy walking in. But yeah, it was cool. I actually got to hang out and visit with him quite a bit off to the side while you guys were chatting with other people there.
Yeah, and a bunch of other Missouri Relax guys showed up, and I got to talk to Jason, and that was cool. I hadn't actually met him face to face before, so that was the first time for that. All those guys are pretty cool. All, those Missouri Relax guys.
Matt Jones, Dustin Jones, and Patrick came down. Jason was there.
Yeah, and speaking of relaxed, and TJ got his logo this weekend. He's officially Relaxed Atmosphere member.
Congratulations, TJ.
Yep, congrats, TJ, if you listen to this. Even
if you don't no congratulations.
Yeah, it's like, even if you don't, congratulations still.
If you don't listen, we take it back.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and while we were there, I think that was right before going to TJ's, we stopped by the Sugar Fire Barbecue.
Sugar Fire,
Yeah, that was pretty good. We had some good barbecue. And I just thought that the brisket and sausage sandwich sounded good, but I did not know it was going to be that mile-high pile of droopy barbecue sauce covered, need a napkin per bite I tried to man up. I tried 3 bites of it before I actually put it on my plate and ate it with a fork. I think I went through half a dozen napkins before that. And still went through half a dozen more even eating it with a fork.
Just get the combo plate.
Yeah, you were the smart one. You just got it with no bread already on a plate. But yeah, that was some good food. That was definitely some good food there. And I think after that, we went to Tony Moore's house. Right?
We did.
Yeah.
Went to Tony's new house. Tony, owner of Asphalt Army Clothing. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Nice new house. You know, we walked in and you could tell right away it was a new house. You could smell it. Of course, they said they couldn't because they lived there
2
already
months.
too long. Yep.
2 months,
Yep.
yeah. And
That-
so, congratulations on your new house, Tony. It's a beautiful home.
Beautiful home. That was really nice. It was cool there. And I thought it was interesting that she said that their next door neighbor at their old house had a house built right next
Right
to
next
theirs
to
at
it.
this one. I thought that was pretty. Actually, when
You
I was-
must be pretty good neighbors if
That's.
you...
I was actually talking to my wife on the phone later on that night, and because when we got to the Hollywood Casino, Craig Braid had happened to be staying there too, and he's from Washington and was driving out, and he actually left a day before us, and it was kind of interesting because we pretty much caught up with him, but I think he took a little more time
Yeah.
sightseeing than we did when we came out.
Yeah, Craig had brought his son, so I think he wanted to show him the U.S. before they got
Showing
here.
them America.
They must have drove around Nebraska so they got there. Or
I literally think they did. He said, he said they went through Colorado and through
Oh,
Kansas.
that's right. Yes, they took a different route than us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
across on
they got
70.
spared.
70, yeah.
Yeah, they got spared having to drive through Nebraska. I think that pretty much wraps up that day. That was day 3 or 4. Anyways, that was Wednesday. Whatever day we're on, you guys probably are keeping track of this better than we are.
I did okay at the casino.
Yes, you did.
I did all right. Like, usually I throw money away, but I took some of it home with me this time. Not a lot, but...
And backing up a day, that's when we left Little America.
In Wyoming. Yeah.
In Wyoming.
In Wyoming.
Yes. Yeah, we woke
So that
up
would have
that.
been Monday.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Monday morning, we left Little America, Wyoming.
Little America, Wyoming.
Little Wyoming sounds like a
It was-
gangster name.
It's like Lil Wayne.
Yeah, Little Wyoming.
I was going to ride the dinosaur.
That's right. They had
Oh,
the
there's
big
a
old
St. Clair
dinosaur.
dinosaur there, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Geoff wanted to get on it.
Yeah, he wanted on the buffalo, but he just couldn't make it up on top.
Yeah,
of it.
a big buffalo, fat guy.
Your
Yeah, that's-
legs weren't long enough for
I'm
it.
short, low rider guy.
I think this is just my week for getting screwed with coffee because you had your cup and you went in there and you got your refill of coffee.
It's a
Big
buck.
old giant coffee cup, and it was 99 cents. I go up there and use one of their cups, and it was $1.99. They charged me $1 for that stupid styrofoam cup.
I think this has not been your week for coffee. Oh,
That's
man.
some Jason Ballard shit. trying to save some money, but you get hosed in the end.
Yes, I definitely. This might have been my week for coffee. I mean, it's like decaf and having to pay $1 more for a cup. It's like, really? It's
But
a
you
do-
got 2 flavors.
Oh, I did that day.
Yeah.
Two
Yeah,
flavors, 1 cup.
2 flavors, 1 cup. I guess I did have a good coffee day one day.
Nice.
Yeah, so one day out of
Was
8
it-
or 9
yeah.
or whatever it is, that's not too bad. But then leaving there, we went through like the mountains of Wyoming, and man, that wind was blowing.
The wind was cooking. We stopped at that rest area up top.
That's right.
And remember that RV that was parked out front that was rocking like
Oh man.
like there was a bunch of sorority girls in there. Getting,
Like, thanks for the
Changes.
update.
Somebody was getting a train run on them.
yeah, or the wind was blowing.
It's
I
like-
thought that thing was going to tip over. The wind was blowing so hard.
It's like Dirty Mike. And the
But there's
Boys.
signs that said like 60+ mph winds for 50
I
miles.
think it said 70, didn't it?
So the sign said that at that point at the rest area that they've recorded up to 70 miles
Oh,
an hour.
okay.
But yeah, it was cooking, and we ended up, we had the big trailer and the dually, and we ended up slowing down to like, man, I think at one point we were going like 40,
Yeah.
45 because the wind was so bad.
I remember that RV, man. That thing, you
Yeah.
watching out the window. But when you walked outside, you could dang near open up your jacket and just fly across the parking lot. It was blowing pretty good.
Well, I mean, remember we opened the door. I think hold out the door.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then I believe that's the night that we recorded with Jason Ballard.
When we were driving.
Yeah, when
That
we were
was-
driving, he called us on the
We
way.
were in Nebraska by then.
Monday night.
No, that was Tuesday.
It was before Monday
Oh
night.
no, that's
football.
right. It was Monday. Monday it was before Monday. It was that night, Monday. So that is when we recorded. Because right there at the end, you had to cut him off short so you could listen to the Cardinals
Yeah,
game.
luckily,
He's like, "Oh, sorry, we gotta go. Cardinals game starting." And
luckily we were off the air. off of his podcast when I said that. And he's like, "Oh shit!" He hung up on me. I was just.
Oh yeah, I think it was kind of like each other. They were like, "Oh shit, Cardinals." And here's
He's
Geoff
like, "Well, I don't want to
like,
keep you all night," and I'm like, "Cardinals game's about to restart." He's like, "All right," and hung up.
Is that the Cardinals Dallas game?
Yeah. So we ended up we got a hotel and we walked to the Buffalo Wild Wings, which is like across the parking lot.
Yeah.
And they're getting ready to close down, but we got dinner and we got to see the end of the Cardinals whoop the.
Of course, that was supposed
Cowboys,
to be like just right across the parking lot.
Right across a quarter mile, probably closer to a half mile.
I think I was trying to take the shortcut, and the guy at the hotel said, "Just follow this road, keep going straight."
Right.
And I'm like, "Well, fuck that. We can just walk across the parking lot." Yeah, and we got all screwed up. But
Yeah.
The guy,
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy that lives there don't know where the hell he's going.
yeah,
It's like, don't listen to the guy that lives here.
screw you. We're from 6 states away. We
Never
got
been
this.
here before in my life. I know exactly
Look,
where I'm
I don't need to read a map. I've been there. I drove right by it.
The lady was super cool at the restaurant though. She was like, "I really hate to do this, but I have to do last call." And I'm like, "All right, well, give me another drink." And she goes, "Okay, anybody else want another drink?" And then I go, "Bring 2." And she goes, "You want 2?"
Yeah, she brought it 2 last calls. Yeah, that was pretty. She was pretty nice. Yeah, that recording there before he said he was recording. We were all.
I don't know if he ever said he was recording. I think he just like called us and hit the record button. It's like, "Hey guys, you want to?"
No, he didn't catch all of it. He caught it in the middle.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think you heard when I was doing a little bit of freestyle rapping there.
Right.
Yeah, so he caught the tail end of it, and
He texts me and he's like, "Make sure you flip on the podcast as soon as it drops."
yeah, it was,
DJ Billy Bizarre.
yeah, that's right.
That's where the jizz off came from.
Yeah, so we're driving down the road, and I didn't know it was recording, and who knows, even if it was recording, maybe I would have just did my little rap anyway. But we got rolling, and so I made my rap debut on OLP during the Back to the Future episode. I think it's right after the interview, and the song was playing right after that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny because here we are, and I'm in the back seat. I'm listening to it and kind of so paying attention to it, and I hear the music going, and the next thing I know, I catch the end of it, and I'm like, wait a second, and of course you two are just laughing your asses off.
We saw the text. We knew it was coming.
I know, well, you guys knew, I didn't, and
No,
then
that's half the fun.
and I was like, what the hell, are you serious? And then so made you guys rewind that thing. We'll see if I can repeat the full rap here so that people can know what it is. And I believe that went something like, started out, we were talking about something and Easy popped into my head. So started out cruising down the highway in a dually faux dough, heading to Maggie Valley, trailer in tow. His name is Ronnie P. He's got shirts galore. You might have a lot of shirts, but he got much more. They feature real builds, you know they're real legit. So go to Hammered Weekend Wear and buy some shit. His name is Geoff, host of Mini Garage Show. Check it out on YouTube. Hit subscribe, yo. Me, I'm Billy Bob, in case you didn't know. Tagging along with these two to the Mini Nats Show. A magical adventure full of stories galore. Listen to Billy Bob the podcast if you want to hear more. So there's the whole rap, the way it went. For
And
those
then,
of you.
Then Jason caught the last couple
Yeah,
verses.
so if you listen to OLP, you might have caught the last little bit, but there's the whole.
Now we need
version.
some beatboxing to go with that.
Yeah,
I listened to the OLP
yeah.
last night on the way here, and I don't.
It was.
I don't
It was just a little
It was about,
snippet of
yeah,
it.
Is
Yeah.
like 5 seconds.
I might have to listen to it again.
Yeah, it was on there, but it kind of threw me. I was like, "Whoa, wait a second, what?"
Yeah, episode 207. It was right after the interview, the Back to the Future interview.
Yeah.
yeah. But anyways, there it is. That's kind of. I'm sorry I didn't flow right through that.
Was Monday night? Also, it was Monday when we had our virtual passenger too in Wyoming.
Yeah, no, that was Sunday.
Was
that
it
was
Sunday?
the first day we left. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty much. So we did that.
We were in Utah. So yeah. That was
Yeah, so
Sunday.
that was the first day. So we pretty much we can complete. I think Tuesday. We've
Alright.
already discussed going to Buffalo Wild Wings, me rapping,
Monday.
the Cardinals game, all that. So okay, Monday. Yeah. So see, I'm even on
The
wrong
Cardinals game where they whooped Dallas's ass. Is that what we're talking about? That same game?
That same game
Okay.
where you talking like messaging
You
Eric
probably
Self.
catch it on
I was
ESPN.
messaging
Wait a minute.
myself, yeah.
But that whole Dallas.
Chad Chris is a big Dallas fan too. So
Yeah.
I don't know if Chad Chris, did you catch that?
Oh, and Eric Self quit texting you.
Yeah.
He stopped texting when Dallas started doing it.
He's a good sport, though.
It's all fun and games.
Yeah.
But did the 2 fumbles cost you a little bit there on your?
Cost me on the fantasy, yeah. I actually lost my fantasy by 0.12 points. So,
Thanks.
yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Zeke.
Yeah.
Enough football.
Okay,
Back
enough
to-
football. Enough on Monday. We're gonna move backwards to Sunday. And Sunday, well, you guys,
Where'd you wake up Sunday?
where did I wake up Sunday?
Yeah.
I woke up at my house.
In your bed.
In my bed.
Must be nice.
It was. Well, you guys, we can back up another day. How about we back up 2 days and we'll just start from there. So you guys worked.
I worked.
Yes.
Jeff was fucking off at the coast.
That's right.
I worked Thursday. The Thursday was about half of Thursday was the last day I worked.
Okay,
before
we're not even going to talk about you anymore. We're going to talk about Ron. You can sit this one out. So Ron, and then you were telling me that your boss or something, you were supposed to paint the floor, or they were repainting the floor, and you're volunteering.
Right.
And then you got there, and 3 minutes left. He thought you were supposed to grab a roll.
Yeah,
of paint.
well, wait.
No.
So I text him, and I was like, what time are you picking me up? And he said, 5:29.
No, you said what time you're off.
Oh, yeah.
It's
What,
at
yeah.
5:29.
What
So
time,
I
what
was
time
trying
you
to get
off?
off early.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, you guys left. What time did you get out of there? Out of Portland area?
I got off at 5:30, and then I went straight to Jeff's house and picked him up. We loaded up pretty quick.
Yeah, that was quick. I was ready to go.
Yeah.
Hannah was like, Dad, get out of the house, go.
Yeah, and then we had to drive up to Mount Hood to my house, and that's, an hour away?
About an hour.
Yeah, so I think
I think
You
give or
know-
take traffic in Portland.
it really wasn't bad, actually.
No.
And it was Saturday, so it's not super bad. But so we get up there and we got the trailer, and then Kelly had packed us a bunch of snacks and stuff, and then kind of helped us get ready.
Yeah,
I
and
think
Ron had a list.
Yeah, Ron had a list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a list too, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff, where's your list?
You'll make a list next
Hey,
time.
hey. When you start this list, like on the first thing, put make a list. First thing on the list says make a list.
My list
Hey,
didn't say
The
minutes.
second is pack Halloween costume.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jeff, I'll give you a little hint on the whole list thing. You kind of start it like before, think about it. But the big thing is write legible enough so you can read your own writing.
Yeah, I've had that.
That's the problem I run into.
I think I'm going to put it on notes on my phone.
Yeah.
And I tried to do audio notes, and that didn't work. I mean, I had to download an app, and then it just went to nowhere. I don't know. I'll probably have to make little tick marks and checks. So
Yeah, so it was about
Sticky
7:30 when we actually got out. But I mean, it's an hour closer to where we needed to go.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like wasted time
Yeah.
or anything.
But you were supposed to stay at Paul St. Cyr's house, and I think
Yeah. So we drove. We were planning on getting there about 2 a.m. and Paul knew that. And then we drove for a good while. But
we were in Baker City, I think, or just past Baker City when he said,
yeah, I finally called it. I was like, man, I'm tired. And so we took a nap at where were we at? Truck stop.
truck stop.
We took a truck stop nap, and then got back on the road. And when we got to Boise, it was
I don't know, 7?
7-ish, yeah.
Yeah.
Because nobody was really around.
No, and we texted Paul, and he didn't.
He was still sleeping.
Yeah, he didn't respond. So we dropped the trailer and
Dropped trailer at Paul's house and went to
Joe Mama's.
Joe Mama's.
went to Joe Mama's.
Yep, Joe Mama's.
Yeah, that's Meridian, right?
Yes, in
Yeah.
Meridian, Idaho.
That was some decent grub.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, and then old Geoff came and hung out with me at my house while Ron went and got the tattoo work done by
Yeah.
Gonzi.
Yeah, so my tattooer's there in Boise. His name's Gonzi Inc. on Instagram if you follow him.
Yep.
He does some really cool stuff. I had an appointment with him, so I dropped Geoff off with Chris and then went and got tattooed and then came back and met up, was it noon, 1?
Yeah, about noonish one, yeah.
Yeah. Then
And-
we loaded Chris up.
We had to go to Paul's and get the trailer and kind of do a roadside neighborhood.
Yep, sell some shirts.
Yeah, we started slinging right there in the street.
Yeah. Then we- that's right. Yeah, we did. People just drove up and bought some shirts right there at Paul's house.
the hammer trailer's here. We're gonna go make our buys.
That was
like
it.
Slinging like it ain't no thing.
Yep. And then we left there and we were traveling down. We decided that, hey, we're going to listen to some podcasts. So we turned on Mini Trucker Cult podcast and started listening to that. And that was pretty entertaining. And we heard that Jamie Swift, co-host, I should say,
That was
Mini Trucker Cult,
yeah.
said that, well, he was pretty sure there was an open seat and he would have loved to have went with us. So once we stopped in Salt Lake at the rest area, we picked up a virtual hitchhiker. So Jamie joined us, virtual Jamie. He joined us there at the rest stop, so we took a selfie with him and posted that up for everybody to see. Kind of let him tag around for a while until, for a little bit. Then I just kind of got tired of holding him, so I shut the laptop and let him rest for a while.
Let him take a nap for you.
Yeah, it's like, it's time for you. This is enough of this Dutch rudder in back the seat here. So, it was more good for him. He had all those buttons to push. I didn't. He kept asking me, push the dirt button.
Tickle my button.
He's like tap my dirt button. It's like, I'll give you the old thumb spike ice pick right there. We had fun joking around. In fact, somebody asked about virtual Jamie this morning when we were eating breakfast, wanting to know where he was, but he pretty much hung out with good old Hammer Hank most of the weekend, and Hank outdrank him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, old Jamie, virtual Jamie, he was passed out most of the weekend
Well, he was under the table today. I had him charged, and I kind of forgot about him out there. I did bring him out this evening for a couple selfies with Mike Murray and Jason Ballard. So there might be some pictures of that surfacing later.
Yeah, we did stop at Eden in Idaho to get fuel before we hit Salt Lake.
Yeah.
And the guy was blocking us at the fuel pump in that Tacoma pickup.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh my God, that was annoying.
I'll push it out of the way.
He's like, my girlfriend has the keys and she's inside. And I'm like, oh, it's cool. We're fine. There's like one fucking diesel pump in that whole place.
There was.
Jesus. Yeah, so he's like, no, we can push it. And I'm like, we as in you? I'm fine with just waiting.
And he started pushing it. We were like, Ron says, oh no, we're good. And the guy's pushing this truck like 3 pumps forward by himself, so Ron finally gets out and helps him.
Well, first when he said, oh, we'll just push it, and I for a second I thought he was like, wanted me to take the Dodge and push his piece of shit Tacoma out of the way, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll just wait here.
What was that? Was that a sub place that we ate inside there?
The Garden of Eden.
Blimpies or something.
Yeah, Blimpies.
Yeah, I went to
Blimpies.
Blimpies.
And that chick, I'm sure she was not like old, but man, if that is the future of America, we are screwed. I'm like, holy hell.
Yeah.
Go back to school.
Well, it is the middle of Idaho. There's probably not much to pick from there. That's probably the best you get.
Well, then I hope she makes someone very happy.
I think you need to get out and test some more fast food type places across the country. Because you'd be surprised what you come across.
So the crazy thing is that guy in the Tacoma pushed his Tacoma forward and then parked it. And then I filled up with diesel. I went inside and no, I didn't go inside yet. I filled up with diesel. You guys were inside. And this lady, I'm sitting there and I'm done pumping. And I just pumped a whole full-size truck full of diesel. And the guy in the Tacoma is still right in front of me. He's not anywhere near the gas pump. He's way out in front of the gas pump. And this lady comes to my window from back behind. And she's like, are you going to move? Like all shitty like? And I'm like, and the Dodge is like kind of big, so you can't see the little truck in front of it. And I'm like, well, I will as soon as the homeboy leaves. And she's like, oh, I didn't see him there. So she goes up to the window, and the girlfriend that had the keys is in the driver's seat. The dude's gone. And then the lady comes back, and she makes this motion like she's just sitting in there text messaging on the phone. So she had words with her, and she pulled off. So she had keys. She was still sitting in front of us. So then I moved, and the place was packed when we got there.
Oh, yeah.
Then when I parked and went inside to get a sandwich, there was like 3 cars at the pump. And I'm like, we just got it at the wrong time.
Yeah. That pretty much wraps up, I think, our whole journey.
So far, man. We still got to go home.
Well, yes. So Ron and I still have to go home, but our journey up till now.
So why is Geoff not coming back with us?
Yeah, why aren't
You
you
want to tell
coming
us the
back with
grand?
us?
Well,
child story?
yeah, on the 22nd of October, my daughter Stephanie, who lives up in Maryland, Joint Base Andrews, had her baby girl Charlotte, and my wife, my other daughter Hannah, and my mother-in-law flew up there Tuesday when I was on the road, and I kept thinking about it and thinking about it, and I was like, this morning I was like, I should rent a car and get a flight home and go up and be with my family and meet my granddaughter for the first time. It's the right thing to do, and then
Second grandchild.
second grand. Yeah, I have a grandson already.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure. And then somebody says to me, well, why don't you, instead of renting a car, why don't you see if you can get a ride? That saves you that money right up front. And so I was like, I don't know anybody going, but there's this show full of people like that are from all over.
Yes.
And so the first guy that I know is going north is Matt. And I'm like, hey Matt, can you help me out anyway? And you know, I know a lot of the Northwest guys know, but Matt is super helpful. Like everybody up there in the Northwest wants to help everybody else out, and good dudes taking care of good dudes. And when my YouTube channel was small, he was one of the first guys that sent me a viewer ride, so that when COVID happened and I didn't have any videos to put out, he was one of the guys that helped me put out content. So I appreciate that too, man.
You're welcome. I
And-
about hurt myself tripping through the shop. I don't remember what I tripped over as I was coming in there, but I tripped over something. I about went down.
But it was good stuff, man.
Yeah.
And so first thing tomorrow, you guys are gonna get up and start heading home, and I'm gonna miss that whole fun. But I get to meet my granddaughter Charlotte, and I'm super excited. And I thank you, Matt, for helping me.
I get to go to Maryland.
Well, it is pretty cool that Matt just happened to be here and you did find
Yeah.
that. And congratulations on your new grandchild.
Now you know how I come into the story.
And although it would be fun to go back with Ron and I and share that part of the trip, I can't think of anything better than to go and meet your new grandchild.
Yeah, and that's it. And when my daughter found out, she was super excited. I haven't seen Stephanie since last August, not this August, like 2 months ago, but 2019. They came out. It's cheaper for us to fly their family of 3 out than it is for us to go out. Come out here. When we come out to the East Coast, we're buying rental cars and hotels, and then we're doing fancy stuff with them and taking them out because they don't have much. But when they come home, we've got extra cars at home, and they can go see their friends. We can keep going to work, and
They can stay at the house.
yeah, they stay at the house. It doesn't cost anything,
Right.
but it's also fun to get out and see this side of the country. So I'm super excited to go spend some time with my daughter and my son-in-law Nathaniel, because he helped get her. He kind of got her there. So
Yeah.
yeah, it takes two to tango.
There you go. So we're kind of wrapping up our trip here, I think, at least for now. And so anything else anybody wants to add?
I just think Geoff will tell you, Chris will tell you, Matt, Chuck Dog will tell you. Just make a plan and do it. And if you're from North Carolina, like plan a trip to Oregon. If you're from California, plan a trip to Florida.
Yeah.
Get out there and do it. And
You just heard a whole bunch of our shenanigans to the show, and I know you can fly.
that's only what us old guys can remember.
That's all we can remember and share this short of time. There's a lot more that happened just than that, and we definitely had a great time on the way out here, and just an amazing time here at the show all weekend. And I agree, you just listen to our stories and what we did and all the fun and amazing things that we saw and did, and people we met and talked to and shook hands with, and absolutely don't just sit around and listen to our stories. Go out and make your own. Find a way to do it. Save your pennies.
It's like Jason Barbalia said today. Get out there, meet somebody new, slap hands with somebody.
Yes.
Meet somebody new every day.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
enjoy
advice.
yourself.
Figure out how to go to shows out of state. Do like me. Get a job out of state so you have to go. You know?
There you
Well,
In a sense, I'm letting somebody else foot the bill.
yeah, I did that for a while, and then
It gets old.
it does get old, especially if you're married.
Yeah.
Gotta
Here's a
be different.
little one of my tricks that I did when I was younger. When I had my niece on, I couldn't travel as much as I can now with the business. But what I would do is I would plan a show 6 months, 9 months down the road, and every payday I would go to the gas station and buy a gas card. I bought a $50 gas card or $100 gas card, whatever I could afford, and I knew I wasn't going to spend it because I could just get fuel or like $50 in coffee. Like, you can't really spend it like you can a credit card. So I would just put those in my dresser drawer, and then when it was time for the trip,
Yeah.
you know, a good chunk of the expense was already taken care of. So,
Yeah, I remember when you do that.
yeah, just doing little things like that can help you get out of
And
debt.
I tell people, I'm like, hey, start skipping that Starbucks coffee.
Right.
You know, make your coffee at home and save that $5 and put that up every day. You'd be amazed. $5 times 30 times a month.
Right.
Even if it's 20 times a month, that adds up. There's ways you can get out there. Everybody always makes excuses of why they can't. I know that some people just can't, but if you can, find a way and go on a road trip. Make some, you know, take an adventure, make some stories and memories, and yeah, you'll appreciate it later on. That's for sure.
Definitely traveling across the United States, you see a lot of interesting stuff, and I mean, there's a lot of things to see out there.
Yes,
It's,
amazing.
Amazing how diverse America is when you start crossing it.
And really, every state, I tell people, is almost their own little country.
Yeah.
The people are a little different. They talk a little different. You know,
Well, that's why I came down here, is because I can't understand anybody in the Pittsburgh area. They all have slang that I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
So talking just with the people down this way the last few days, the more I talk with them, I catch myself having a little bit of a draw, and I'm like, and I'm not trying to copy them. I'm not trying to be them, and they just draw you in.
I feel like I'm drawn now talking. So.
I've ended up down here in the South several times, and I think that the Southern draw is probably one of the easiest accents in the United States to pick, that you pick up, that you don't. I mean, several years ago, I was down here for about 3 years, and I definitely had that Southern draw. When I went home, everybody was like kind of looking at me funny, you know, and I picked
Well, you
it
got to
up.
pick it up so you can speak at their pace.
Yeah, that's because I
Yeah,
definitely
we don't talk too fast.
But I will tell you, having all these Southern waitresses talk to me, like, boring. Keep talking, baby.
we're not on.
Boy, we're really gonna.
We're not on the YouTube channel.
Nobody can see that, just so they're gonna go. Oh, that wasn't as funny. Why is everybody laughing?
Damn, I wish I was live.
Well,
And speaking of accents, remember the guy when we went and got pals for lunch that day?
Oh yes,
Man, I could not understand what the hell that guy was
that's right.
saying.
We forgot about pals.
Yeah,
We ate
it's me,
pals,
and
too.
you know what? We did eat at Palace, but and then we stopped at the Abraham Lincoln Monument. Like, there's so
Yes.
much stuff that
There
I said
is.
that we haven't even that we forgot or skipped that you know we'll remember down the road.
But get on the story your guy pulled
Well,
up to
that's
us.
like when
I wasn't gonna get into it.
when I was heading for COVID, I had to jump off the freeway for something, I don't know. There's a sign, world's largest spoon and fork, and I'm like, all right, cool.
Oh,
let's go
that's
see
it. That's in Illinois, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I've seen that before.
I was just like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go see this. You know, why? But hey, why not? You know.
I think the dude in the water boy that the assistant coach of the water boy was trying to talk to Ron about what's in his trailer.
That's exactly what it was. You couldn't hardly understand what he said. Well, it wasn't quite that bad. We caught somewhat of it. Yeah, but it was bad.
It ended up being he wanted to know if we were selling clothing, but
Yeah.
I couldn't understand him, and I didn't want to keep going. What? Huh? What? And
Yeah,
I
after
just said
6
no.
or 7 times, he just finally Ron says no.
I was like, no, and then they left. But it was exciting nonetheless.
Yes.
I can't wait to go back to Johnson City and get more pals though. They're ham.
Oh man, that was good. That was my first
That's
time.
in
eating
Johnson City.
I think they're in the area. That's the only place I've had it. I had it when I came to East Tennessee Showdown. Kevin Fry, one of the RA guys down in Florida, came up for that show and introduced me to that. And then I went back this trip, and I'm getting all kinds of hate mail from Kevin Fry.
I saw that. Because you didn't bring him one?
No, he was just like, man, I hate you right now.
You should mail him a wrapper.
I should, like Lucky did.
Well, I want to thank you, Chris, for having us on, because this has been fun just sitting around. I mean, we're just sitting around talking about what we've done, but it's still fun to just sit around and.
It is. It is kind of a different thing, and I thought I'd try something different for this episode. And since we're all here in one place and we could just hang out in this house, and I mean, it's not very common, especially Chuck Dog from Florida. How often are we going to get to hang out with him in a house? Yeah, and Matt happened to be working in Pittsburgh, drives down, and you guys, even though you're 6 hours away, still it's not. May never have this group of people in the house
Right.
again. So I thought it'd be cool to actually sit down and kind of record this episode where we're just kind of all hanging back and have a different view of the show and kind of everybody share what they thought all together.
Like you and I were talking earlier, the show made me, I want to come back, but I want to bring something.
Yeah, I'd love to bring something here. Yeah, this is a great place, great show.
Even if I had to figure out some way to come down and bring something and then leave it and have to come back to get it,
Yeah, definitely a great thing. And if you can ever make it out here to the Southeastern Minitruckin Nats, I highly recommend it. It's right there on the top of my list. It's one of my favorite shows I've gone to.
And the amount of cruising afterwards, I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't get to see a lot of it just because of the rain, but I mean, that was cool. I mean,
Yeah, last year was crazy, man. They cruised for forever. Last year they actually started the cruise, like the town police were the first 2 cars out in front, and then just everybody started following the police. Police went down to the end of the strip, and then all the mini trucks turned around and came back and just kept doing.
And that's the cool thing about here is it seems like the town really supports what they do here too.
Right.
Like
well, that's something that I was earlier today that I noticed. It was like parking's not real adequate here for
Right.
this.
No.
And it's amazing how many vehicles are in business parking spots and they just take
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they just expect it.
yeah, they just and
But they said next weekend it's going to be a bike rally.
Yeah.
So this town thrives on this kind of
This
stuff.
kind of event. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
how most people here make their living off of these events. So they were probably glad that, the
I
COVID
think so they
thing.
could make a killing if they had a convenience store here.
I know, I noticed that.
Or just-
They have the ABC store up the street.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I found that. That's where I went and got ice. But even a grocery store here would be
Yeah.
cool.
Right.
This place is probably going to turn into the mini trucker Sturgis.
Yeah, probably. It's getting that way. It's getting pretty big, and it's
Yeah.
such a great place to have it. I think we're.
Another destination show.
Right.
I think we'll kind of wrap this episode up. It's getting approaching 2 hours here that we've been talking. Doesn't seem like it, but yeah, it's I think an hour 47 minutes, and I just want to say thank you for listening. If you took the time to listen to this whole entire episode, and hope that you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed listening to us just ramble on about our little adventures here.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe
That's right. Subscribe.
to help Chris out on the podcast there.
That's right. I think I got 6 followers or subscribers on YouTube right
You
now.
had 5 the other day.
Shit, I didn't know you were on YouTube.
Yeah, I put it on YouTube as well.
Wow.
So you can listen on YouTube, all your favorite podcast apps. Make sure to check me out on Facebook, Instagram. And if you listen on iTunes, please leave a review. If you can't leave 5 stars, just don't leave a review. Like my mama said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So, no, I'm just kidding. Just, tell me what you think. I greatly appreciate it. All those YouTube, podcast, Facebook, Instagram, it's all Billy Bob the Podcast. Can't mess that up. Please do that. Make sure that you check out Hammered Weekend Wear. HammeredApparel.com, I believe, is the website. Make sure that you check out Mini Garage on YouTube. They also have Instagram and Facebook. So,
Yeah, it's at Mini Garage PDX is the show one, and then Mini Garage on Facebook.
Yep, there you go. How about you, Matt? You want to get on any social media?
Oh, I'm Peg_rig.
Okay, well,
67, I think, on Instagram.
yeah, you don't have to give it out, but you just
I
did.
think that's what it is. I don't know.
Now you're gonna have all the bitches be hitting you up now.
Yeah.
You're like,
oh man. Yeah, right. Well, my mouth will take care of that problem.
As soon as they hear him talk.
Yeah, or I'll say something that usually a compliment that they take wrong.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. How
You
about
got such a
Chuck?
fat ass.
How about you, Chuck? You want to give out your?
My Instagram's ChuckDawg, DAWG88.
There you go.
There you go.
So you can check out Chuck Dog, see what he's got going on. Check out Matt. Make sure to check out Hammered Weekend Wear Mini Garage. And I guess that'll pretty much wrap up this show. And like always, until next time, get off that couch, quit caressing your carrot, go out to your garage, build something, take a road trip, make some memories. Because when we all meet up, I want to hear all about it. I'll talk at you later, or we'll talk at you later. We're out of here.